So here is everything you're going to need. Some hay and a container to hold it that is wide enough and long enough for you to roll your tubes in it. A bowl, some scissors. I've just got these herb scissors and a pair of normal scissors as well for different uses. A carrot, some toilet roll tubes or any sort of cardboard tubing, maybe even from a roll of wrapping paper, that would be perfect. You just need a few so you can cut them to different sizes. A grater, some oats and some sisal or sisal string, however you pronounce it, or you could even use some twine as well, or normal string, just something that is natural and isn't going to harm your guinea pigs if they do chew it. Some water, it doesn't really matter in the amount, you just need a little bit to mix, and then a food processor or blender. I then have an egg glazing brush. A paintbrush would work the same as well. This is to brush on the glue that we're about to make in a minute. Step 1, we are going to make the glue that is going to hold on the hay onto the cardboard tubes. I'm using a recipe from this book, which is called Cooking for My KV Recipes for Guinea Pig Treats by Melissa J. Taylor. I got this for Christmas last year, and inside it has loads of different cool recipes, but I'm going to be using the recipe for guinea pig glue. And so this is safe for them to eat instead of using that PVA or something which they can't eat, and I'm going to be following the oat flavour recipe. First, I'm just going to put the oats into the blender, just a handful. We're blending the oats to make it into a flour consistency so that you can stir it easier. So now it is like a powder. I'm going to pour it into our little bowl. You then need to add the water gradually until it makes a paste. You want to go to a consistency that is runny enough to spread, but not so runny that it's just water and isn't going to stick to anything. Now we've made the glue, we can move on to step 2 and prepare the hay. You just need to cut it up into really tiny pieces. You don't need much at all, but just like the little bits here, cut it up really small and fine. Step 3, we can now cut up the cardboard tube to make it into the Christmas tree shape. You want to leave one the length that it already is if these are just toilet roll tubes, or you can cut one. You just need a basic length for the bottom that is of your own choice. The next one, I'm going to cut it slightly smaller, about 2-3 centimeters away from the edge, and line it up so it kind of looks a bit like that. Now you should have your 3 or 4 pieces which line up like this. I went for 4, that like a cute little Christmas tree. And now you're going to want to take your scissors and make a hole in the middle of each one. I'm using scissors to roughly go in the middle, or you could use a skewer. And it just needs to go like that. It doesn't need to be very big, but just small like that, roughly in the middle. And then you line up your next one on both sides of this one. This one only needs 1 hole, and the next one up needs 2 opposite corners, just like that. So I have 1 hole that side and a hole the other side. I folded it like that and got the hole identical each side, and then that one goes here. Do either side the same on this one as we did on the other one. Lastly, the same on this little one, which may be a bit more fiddly as it is so small, so be careful. So now they all have their holes in them so they can be threaded through. You just need to take your glue and start painting them. So once you've covered the whole of the outside in your glue, we then want to take the hay and start rolling in it and covering it in the hay. Once you've gone the whole way around with the hay, you then want to shake off any excess and leave it to dry. Continue doing that until you have done all 3, just like I have, and now I'm leaving them to dry, and you should just have your last little piece left. You could just do all of them all in hay, but as I want to make mine Christmassy and have a star on top, I'm going to use carrot to cover this one. I'm just going to use one of the finer holes on the back to grate some of the carrot. And then I'm going to do the same as I've done on the other 2, paint it around with glue and then roll it in the carrot. carrot may stick better when it is dried, but obviously as I'm doing it quickly for a DIY, I don't have time to wait for it to dry. But if you are really going to go for this, dry the carrot out either in a dehydrator or in the oven, or just leave it out to air dry. So now I have the whole Christmas tree ready to thread through with our sisal string. I'm going to measure just a bit longer, so from about the middle of there to past there, because I want to be able to hang it as well. It's probably about double the length of what your Christmas tree comes to, and cut it. Then I want to take my end piece and try to find the hole that I need to thread it through to. Once you have found the hole, you can then take your scissors, push your string slightly through, it will just help it go a little bit easier. You can then catch it through the other side down the middle and pull it through like that. You then are going to want to tie a little knot in the end so that it doesn't pull out. Just like that. And then you can pull this through here and you have your first piece of the Christmas tree hanging. The next pieces may be a bit more fiddly, especially whilst it is still wet if you're doing it like I am. However, if you just keep going at it, you will be able to get it through. Then if you want to make a loop in the top so you can hang it in your cage, you just need to tie it around like this, into a little loop, and through like that. Now you have a little hanging Christmas tree to hang in your guinea pig's hut ready for Christmas.